Good morning. I guess it's the part where we got to talk, right? Just want to thank everybody for having this event. I think it's a great job that you guys, everybody puts on, especially the media, for these young men, for all the schools. It's an opportunity to get them some exposure. That's what it's all about. The main thing for this, they're so excited to be here. I'm excited to be here, and that's what I love about the South. That's what I love about being down here in Alabama and playing football. Football's king, and that's how it should be. So basically, going into this season, we're coming off a pretty good butt whipping at the state championship game, and we talked about it in the past. Our goal a couple years ago, we lost to Bessemer on the 1 yard line in the state semifinals, and it was kind of a one more yard battle cry for the season to try to get back, to try to get to that game, and we made it to Troy, and we forgot that we should have showed up and played a game, and we took that on the chin, but that was a learning experience. So this year with the crew of players we have going forward, we are the expectation is to win a state championship. I mean, just getting to the game this year is not really the goal, and these guys will tell you. So it's going to be a tough season, especially with the situation that we're all living in right now. So it's been a little bit different. Our main goal really is to facilitate and try to create as much normalcy as we can while being safe and doing the right thing for our players, keeping our guys healthy, and getting the school year kicked off and playing. And I'm just excited about our group. We are experienced at the skill position. I think we're loaded at the skill position. It reminds me of our 2017 team. We're inexperienced on the O-line, but I've got some great players there. I'm really excited for them. We got one senior on the O-line, Will Boatner. But I'm excited about the group of kids we have going forward into the season. So, I'll open it up for questions, and we can go from there.
Jason, when you look at the work that these guys have put in this offseason, coming off of that championship game loss, what have you seen that makes you think that they are ready to come back and maybe make it to that game and win it this time?
Well, we were in the weight room as soon as the season was over with, and we had identified what we were, I thought from a core standpoint, from a team standpoint, school standpoint, what we were lacking ability-wise, and we had a really good program in the off-season. In January, February, March, we had gotten after it like I hadn't seen us getting after it in the weight room. We had plus 60 kids running track, which was great for our school. A lot of football players are running track. We just developed the running we've done a lot of stuff in the off-season, and of course, come March, everything gets shut down. It's been kind of quiet since. So from March to now, we've worked out maybe 7 or 8 times through the summer, tops. For various reasons, and so we'll see what happens on Monday.
Coach Gibson, when I talked to you earlier this summer, you talked about putting the championship game behind you, that it was great to go there, but this is a new season. How do you get your players focused on this season and not looking back towards the past?
Well, because you're only returning 8 starters on both sides of the ball total. We do have a large senior class, especially for a private school, and we've got 22 seniors this year, which is huge. And last year's class was big, but to have 22 seniors at a private school is pretty good. So we have a lot of veterans, but some of them that are playing this year don't know anything about the championship game. The ones that do are sitting on this stage, and they can probably tell you a little bit more about it.
Coach, I know you've got some familiar opponents year in and year out on your schedule, but talk about your region. Did you have any changes there?
Yeah, well, we got out of, I've always called our region the SEC West. When I took the job 5 years ago, you're playing Bessemer and Tuscaloosa, and down the line, it's just week after week. There's no break in the schedule, and then our out-of-conference game is as hard as there is. And I thought, the last couple of years, us trying to get games has been difficult. This year, we start right out with Bessemer out of the gate, and then we come back with perennial power Escambia, which I've been dodging Hugh Fountain for years, but I couldn't dodge him anymore. We needed a game, and we had to play, and we're at the level now to where a couple years ago we had to go play the 4A state champion at Mississippi public school, and you just line them up, let's play them. And so now when you look at our out of conference schedule with Autauga, the state champion, Escambia lost to Autauga, Bessemer state champion, and then Monroe, who's been a 4-time state champion. So that's just your out of conference games alone, and you want to be the best, you got to beat the best.
Question for all three of the players, so y'all can just take turns, but especially this being your senior year, what's the motivation like to try to come back this year and go out as state champions?
It's definitely something that we all want and something that we're all looking forward to, just to get that opportunity again, because we didn't really have it. Or we had the opportunity, but we let it slip through our fingers, and we're not going to let that happen again this year.
I think this year is a little bit different for especially all of us seniors because, we got there and tasted it, but we couldn't get it. And being here since 8th grade, I've seen good teams not win it, and I don't want to be another one of those teams.
To bounce back off of what Trent said, I think the mentality this year is different, and everybody else is a little bit more motivated, even with the people that just came to the team. We're all on the same page, and we all have, ultimately, at the end of the day, one goal.
I'll ask a question for any one of the players that wants to jump up, or you can all answer either one. But talk about Glenwood, the support from, again, the school system. I asked Benjamin Russell this question earlier, but when you go to Glenwood on a Friday night and watch football, the stands are packed. I mean, it's the swamp. It's a buzzing atmosphere. You just don't see it at a lot of AISA schools around. I think it stands out from them. Just talk about your fan base and the crowds on Friday night.
I want to make sure I introduce him real quick, and I should have done that in the beginning, but Trent Edwards plays defensive line, linebacker's been there since I took the job. He started as an 8th grader. He is, I'm not going to say he's a quiet leader because he's the guy that you don't want to meet in the back alley, and I think every football team and every coach knows you got to have some of those guys. And, Trent's going to be a leader for us. Obviously, Jackson Griner, plays both sides of the ball, played quarterback. He's getting a lot of retention, a lot of recruits. I think does Army offer you? No, this is close. So Army, I've talked to East Carolina, I've talked to Wake Forest. He's getting a lot of offers or a lot of interest defensively at linebacker and Rover. And, of course, Kai Robichaw, I feel, is probably one of the top 2 or 3 backs in the region, hands down. He had 1,500-plus yards last year. Our goal this year is to get him to 2. That's the offensive line's goal. So, and they're all seniors. They're all as quiet as you see them now as how they are in the locker room. They just lead by example in the field. So I just wanted to make sure who they were.
The atmosphere at Glenwood is just really different. I came from a public school where we had a great fan base and everything, and I didn't expect that at Glenwood, and I was so surprised when I saw it. Just how amazing it truly is, and they treat you like family. It's just truly unbelievable. They treat you amazing. A lot of fans, everybody, it's just one big family.
To bounce off what Jackson said, Glenwood honestly is one community. It's a whole family atmosphere. Everybody gets along, and we love for the fans to come out and support the team, and yeah.
My situation is kind of like Jackson's. I came from a 7A public school, Smith Station. I didn't really know everybody, In Glenwood, you know everybody in the hallways, you know everybody in the stands, and it's just more of it feels a little bit better when they're cheering you on.
Question for Jackson and Trent. You guys graduated some really good seniors from last year, like Justin Jackson. For each of you personally, what have been some of the things you've been doing as far as trying to become more of a leader on the defensive side of the ball?
Well, losing Justin was definitely hard for us because he was such a good leader. But we all work together, we all practice together, and we have a lot of talent on the defensive side. We just have to find that one guy on the team, and I believe that I can be that guy once we get back to practice. Just step up and show everybody how it's done, tell them how it's done, and just be an example.
Yeah, like Jackson said, it definitely hurt a little bit losing Justin, Landis, all the seniors we had last year. But I think this year we can, a couple leaders like me and Jackson can really kind of energize the team and lead by example.
This one's for Jackson and Kai. You know, especially on offense, COVID-19 has put a damper on practice, but how important is it, you know, both of y'all working together in previous years to have that chemistry already built?
Ever since me and Jackson got to Glenwood, the chemistry's been there. We communicate off the field. We'll go work out, throw the football, make sure everybody's on the same page, get into the playbook if we need to. We'll make FaceTime calls and everything. But as far as getting everything while we're on this pandemic and everything, yeah.
Well, it really is a good chemistry we have because we know each other's skill set and we know what each other's good at. And we even know each other's faults. And we really just build off each other. And everything that we do at practice, workouts, everything is just to get better, just to keep motivating the team. We know that we have to be leaders and set it by example. So me and Kai really try our best to do that. And when everybody's head's down, the state championship is a good example of that. Everybody's head was down after the game, and I think a lot of people were motivating everybody, but me and Kai were definitely the top ones, saying we'll come back next year, we'll get them week 1. And we really just a friendship and just part of the family at Glenwood.